Here's a big one. Tokyo Bookstore, the Village Books, announced that there's going to be a amazing crossover manga, which is going to be the super robot Mazinger Z, the godfather of all super robots and robots in general, if you don't count Giant Robo, is going to be having a crossover manga with Transformers. Now, it announced that this book is going to be done in a larger format, which is called a B5 sizing, which is different from the traditional manga format. And it's going to be color, full color, which, again, different from the traditional manga format that's usually black and white, also as they refer to American comic art style.
Yeah.
Now, what's also cool about this, it's going to have a whole bunch of different artists and everything. We're going to have Yu Kunutani, who worked on Devilman, Ghost in the Shell standalone complex.
Nice.
We have Sakamoto, aka Hayato Sakamoto. Again, if you're a regular listener of the podcast, his name comes up a lot. Transformers Legends manga, more to meets the eye. Enough said there. We got Iji Yoshioka, who worked on the E-Hobby comics and also some Transformer Illustrator stuff. We have Kasumi Hoshi, who worked on the Mazen Kaiser stuff and Dino Getter. We have Hitsuko Yoshioka, worked on various packaging for Transformers Master Force Victory Zone. So he's an old school guy who's been around since Generation 1, working on the old G1 Takara stuff. And then we have Nato-san, which, again, he was with Henkei. He did, they don't even mention it here, but he also worked on the Creo mangas back in the day. Also really cool dude, regular at the BotCons back in the day, and worked on IDW covers. And the cover itself of the manga is done by Go Nagai himself, which is pretty crazy. So it's a pretty star-studded cast of people. And from what I read online, that there's going to be a whole bunch of different covers too. So the original normal cover is going to be done by Go Nagai. So you're going to have like that image that we're going to have here in the segment with Optimus Prime and Mazinger face to face with Koji Kabuto in the cockpit. That's done by Go Nagai. So that's pretty cool to have Go Nagai like pretty much drawing Optimus Prime finally after all these years. For people who don't know who Go Nagai is, he's the godfather of mecha. He literally is. Like, he's the godfather of a lot of stuff in anime. Like, if you like Sailor Moon, Go Nagai is probably responsible for it because he created Cutie Honey. So it's pretty crazy, this stuff. There's also going to be an Amazon JP, Japanese exclusive cover. There's going to be, and then there's going to be 2 variant store exclusive covers at Village Books in Japan and Tokyo. So you have 4 different covers to collect. It's going to be about $20 American, 1,900 yen about. So, and it's going to be 104 pages. So it's a larger, picture, I guess the best way to equate it to American listeners and Canadian listeners, trade paperback, soft cover.
Nice.
But so something along those lines. We don't know who the colorist yet, but it might be someone that we know personally that might be making a bid for it. But it's going to be very interesting to see this because this is the first time that these 2 franchises have ever clashed. It's interesting, too, because Super Robots usually have been a Bandai product, not a Takara product. So it's going to be really cool to see this going on. This is going to be pretty crazy, the Super Robot stuff. And I was even saying, oh, man, like, if they really, continue this, because you have characters like Zambo Ace. If you look up Zambo Ace, he kind of was the inspiration for what would be Rodimus and Hot Rod, who was another Super Robot character. You have Daimos, who is again a staple of the romance series of Super Robot stuff in the Philippines and of course in Japan. So there's a lot of really cool robot designs that could go up against the Transformers. Obviously, the scale is kind of out of whack here because Super Robots were way taller.
Yeah,
but they're kind of ignoring that.
Well,
I mean,
you are seeing Mazinger Z being a little bit taller than Optimus. Optimus is still looking up to him, but it's not by much.
Not by much, but either way, I don't care if they have to mess.
They're
with
not
the scale
keeping the scale 100%, but at least they're kind of respecting it a little bit,
It's going to be cool. It's going to be really cool. And, according to the synopsis here, the story is about the forces of the Cybertrons and the Destrons, Autobots and Decepticons, into a space-time distortion across dimensions, and they're probably going to end up in Koji Kabuto's dimension. So they're going to fight Dr. Hell and Baron Ashura, and everything will be unveiled between the 4 sides. So it's going to be a crazy story. It's going to be a crazy story, and I mean, probably like Great Mazinger is going to show up. Minerva, aka not Minerva from Transformers, Minerva from the Mazinger side of things, is probably going to show up. We're going to have Aphrodite B probably. There's going to be a lot of crazy stuff, I'm assuming. So if you're a big fan of old school Japanese robots, or Shogun Warriors as they were called back in the day, this is something definitely to keep an eye out. And we're going to, for sure, when we learn more, we're going to talk more about it on the podcast.